Hey there, my name is Brandon. I'm a aircraft maintenance supervisor, and if you're new to this channel, basically I talk about aircraft maintenance topics and go into depth with some of them to try and explain what it's like working in this industry, especially if you're new to the industry, or even if you're already a technician, or if you just like aviation. But for today's video, I wanted to go over kind of my day so far, because when I got to work today this morning at 6 a.m., I did get an out-of-service aircraft turned over to me. So on this airplane last night, they were doing an A check on it. What an A check is so every 6 months or so, commercial revenue aircraft will go through an A check, which is a relatively heavier maintenance check. And so during this check, they check all the emergency lighting through a system called a SIDS. And so what SIDS stands for is Cabin Intercommunication Data System. And so through that SIDS monitor, you can check all the EPSU, emergency power supply unit, to check to make sure the batteries are working, which are connected to those units. And so what the purpose of an emergency power supply system is on a commercial aircraft is when, let's say there's an emergency situation and there's no power to the aircraft, you are still going to have batteries that can supply lighting to areas such as the exit locations, the emergency exit doors, the exit signs, the pathway lighting going through the cabin, and components like that. So if there's smoke and whatnot in the cabin, or if it's so it's not pitch black, so everybody can still safely exit the aircraft in the event of an emergency. And so when they were doing the A check last night, while checking it, doing a built-in test, one of the EPSUs, which is emergency power supply unit, one of those came back as faulty. And so we didn't have one in stock at our base here in the Seattle area, so we had to order one. When we ordered one, the company didn't say that we would get it until about 7:30 a.m. or so. When the part finally came in, we realized after doing some more research that the part order that they ordered was actually not the correct part number, which these things can happen sometimes. As you can see from the video I just posted here, is that the two components look exactly the same, but they have different part numbers, and sometimes the IPCs can be confusing. And one of the reasons why this one is confusing is because the aircraft that it's meant to be installed on is a Airbus Neo, which is a newer aircraft, and our company just purchased these aircraft, and so we don't have a lot of parts. And the one they ordered is for older generation model Airbuses, the 319s, 320s, and the 321 Neo is what we needed the part for. So I had to contact the company again and requested that we get the correct part. The problem was we didn't have any of these in stock in our entire company, so what ended up happening is that we borrowed one from American Airlines, which that's another common practice in the airline industry, is to borrow or purchase parts from other airlines, so that we can keep our airplanes flying, and they have contracts between one another to do these things. So then once we got the part, we got it installed. It's not a long installation, it's just, I think it was 4 bolts and a cannon plug, and then doing all the necessary ops checks to make sure it's actually functioning properly. So then, yeah, after we got it fixed up, we put the airplane back in service, and I think they're boarding right now, actually, and then it'll depart here very shortly. But yeah, so that's just one minor case of an out of service. Nothing too complicated or major. And thanks for listening.